Welcome to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is a live streaming Star Wars YouTube vidcast made by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans. And today we're going to continue our episode reviews of The Mandalorian with Chapter 14, The Tragedy.
And just like initial thoughts.
Fuck.
Wow.
Initial thoughts? Goddamn. This is Favreau saying, fuck you guys, Boba Fett isn't useless.
Yeah. It's weird because like I always saw him looking badass in the films, but we never actually saw him do anything except get owned. But he got owned by Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca. So of course, compared to the heroes, you're gonna look.
To be fair, it was also an accident that killed him.
Yeah.
Well, so we thought for 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then the Legends comics and stuff, we knew he survived, but I never thought that we would actually see him come back. Like I hoped after Cobb Vanth from episode 1 of the second season, but I never actually thought. But wow.
I honestly kind of figured from the first season. Like, even before we got the one episode where we get the stranger that saves Lee from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, okay, that's got to be
his gear at that point. And so when we saw Cobb Vanth, I was like, oh, well, it can't be him.
Mm-hmm.
I just assumed it was Cobb in chapter.
I kind of figured it's like, I mean, this whole thing was set up because Favreau wanted to bring Boba Fett back.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a hell of a way to do it. To give us 2 seasons of something amazing, just to be like, okay, now I got to play with Boba Fett because he's alive again.
Well, boy, am I glad that he did. I'm going to throw out these images so we can, when we start talking about the episode, because I always forget. This was written by Jon Favreau, directed by Robert Rodriguez, who actually came in as a second choice because I guess the first director dropped out or there's a scheduling conflict or something. And I am really happy that Rodriguez came in. Because like it was like a 9-page script or something like that, and Rodriguez was like, "Dude, with my quick cuts, this is gonna be over in like 10 minutes. Like, are you sure this is it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna do a lot of padding, a lot of action. You just run wild and have fun." And he did. Holy shit! Okay, so it was released on Disney Plus on December 4th. Rodriguez didn't even know if Boba Fett would be appearing in this series again, so he took the opportunity to make him super badass in this moment. And oh my gosh,
it fucking paid off. It paid off.
It was amazing. All right, so let's talk about this episode. Do you want to recap?
Yeah, so it starts off with the Mandalorian bringing Grogu to Tython. They find the temple ruins and start meandering up there. He sets him down and he's like, okay, let's do this thing. And then the thing doesn't happen. And then he's like, okay, well, let's leave. And then the thing happens, which that was pretty fun to see. Like him being like, oh shit, there's people coming. We should probably kick it. Yeah. So goes in there and then the force field just blows his ass away. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Really cool to see. But like the runes along, like it wasn't Arabesh. It's like this ancient Jedi Sith dialect or something. This just ancient Force user dialect. And we saw it in the Clone Wars. We saw it in Rebels. And we saw it in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. And so we know this is like a universal language with the Force in some way. So it's just nice to see it. And what did you think about that Sith temple top looking thing?
I just thought it was badass, like all around. I was pretty happy with it.
It reminded me of Lord of the Rings a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially at the end. And we'll get to that here in just a second. But yeah, at the very end, it really reminded me of Lord of the Rings. But it reminded me of the temples in Jedi Fallen Order. I was looking at it from the top view and I was like, oh, the child's going to sit on it and it's going to like open a spiral staircase going downward.
Yeah, I totally thought that's what was going to happen too.
Like it looks so cool. And I love how they're doing these ancient temples where you have to have the Force and use the Force in order to gain access to them, which has always been a thing in Star Wars tropes. But, you know, the casual viewer wwho may be watching Mandalorian doesn't know that. And so they're just like, oh, what? This is a temple? It just looks like a ball. But there's more underneath. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably, well, never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So how's it going, William? Thanks for joining us live, man. Yeah, as soon as we see Boba Fett's Slave One, oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
yeah.
We immediately knew who it was, like immediately.
Yeah, there was no denying that was him.
So cool. So as you had mentioned, the force field goes up, and he tries to like take Grogu out. Well, he knows it's Grogu now. He tries to take
Mhm.
Grogu out of the force field because clearly there's danger. Do you think he knows that ship, or he's just worried that there's someone else there?
He's probably just worried that there's someone else there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is an ancient fucking planet. Like this is deep core world. Like nobody goes there. Who the hell is gonna go there?
Yeah.
If anybody's like in deep core, they're gonna go to Coruscant.
It's it's wild to me that you could be the most famous bounty hunter in the galaxy, and just 5 years later, the next most famous bounty hunter doesn't even know who you were. Like
5 years. This is more than 5 years.
since Return of the Jedi? What
Yeah,
are you talking about? This
yeah.
is like 5
Because
years later.
no, because this is after the Battle of whatever.
Jakku?
Yeah, right.
No. This
I
is
could have
before
swore
that.
this was after the Battle of Jakku.
Is it? There's no way.
Yeah,
All
because
right,
the
people, we gotta
Empire's
get some
in
answers.
Remnants.
We gotta figure this out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out after the
whatever.
fact. But either
Regardless,
way,
it's
I
not
just
that
figured.
long.
Yeah, I mean, like he doesn't know what the Jedi are or the Force when they're the ones that blew up the 2 Death Stars. Like you would think that word would spread across the galaxy somehow, especially with the New Republic. Like they would want to send out their propaganda to try to ease the transition from the Empire to the New Republic. It seems, but clearly they didn't. Anyway, I'm just nitpicking that he doesn't know who the fuck Boba Fett is when it doesn't matter because he's about to find out.
Yeah.
So he goes down this really cool terrain, which everyone from California was bitching that it looked too much like California. Like, shut up, people. Terrain is terrain. Just go with the
Yeah,
goddamn show.
exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous sometimes. And then he sees Boba Fett just standing there, and then he's like, "I want my armor." It's just like, "Give me my
Oh,
shit,
man.
bitch." I just love that so much. He's like, "That belongs to me," in his fucking Kiwi accent. So cool.
Mhm.
And then Fennec Shan reveals herself and reveals his stomach. I was just like, this is so Star Wars. Of course you can
Mhm.
survive stomach wounds. You're in Star
Yeah,
Wars.
duh. Yeah,
Why
I mean,
wouldn't you?
if you can get cut in half and survive multiple times, yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then the first dropship comes, and immediately Din is like, fuck
Oh,
this, gotta go get the kid. Shit's
yep.
coming. And we get to see fucking Boba and his gaff stick. And what was the like long form name?
It's a Gadurfi stick.
Gadurfi stick. Holy shit, he is
Yeah,
pummeling these motherfuckers.
yeah, fuck
Breaking the
yeah.
armor and shit. Ugh.
Yeah, that was killer. That was just like, yeah, he's back.
Yeah. It really reminded me of Friday the 13th when Jason comes out of the grave and he is just this unstoppable force.
Mhm.
And just beating people down. And then he gets his mask on and we see Boba gets his armor eventually. And he just tears people up. And he's just slow and lumbering. He doesn't have to expend energy. He just does what he's got to do. And he
Yeah,
is so effective at it. And Fennec Shan, this actress is in her 50s. She's fucking amazing.
fuck yeah.
Like just the action sequences she goes through. I would be lucky if I could do that today.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'd probably twist my ankle within the first 5 seconds and then like get killed.
Just that shot of her like flying backwards with her legs forward and like canted. It's a hero
Yeah.
shot if there was ever a
Heck yeah, it
hero
is.
shot. Oh, just seeing them work together too. It's like the enemy of my enemy, and they're not really enemies, but they're sort of pitted against each other because Din has
Mhm.
the armor, which I find so interesting. And this whole course of this series, in addition to the first season, is focusing on Din's understanding of what it means to be a Mandalorian and how
Mhm.
that has evolved and changed. And this episode in particular, he comes to this understanding that no matter what, if you are somehow either natural born or a foundling, armor is heritage. And
Mhm.
I really loved that message that he, if he was still sticking with his like solid Mandalorian cult group ideology, I'm not entirely sure he would have given the armor back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah,
like he would have
I
wanted to
don't
melt
think
it
it would
down
have
or
happened
something.
either. I mean, even after Boba like proved that was his armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't think it would have happened.
Yeah, but this is where that tracking device finally comes to play through, because that's how they knew they were on the planet. They were tracking the Razor Crest. And so Din is out of the fight for most of the beginning because he's trying to get Grogu off the goddamn rock. and this force, and he tries like 3 times and gets blown back each time. Like, are you just going to learn? It took you 3 times to figure that out, dude? Like, after
The Mandalorian, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, I loved it when he's like, all right, I'm going to go rescue, I'm going to go protect you. And he finally goes to enter the fight, and then the shield drops. It's just like that.
Of course.
So funny. But yeah, then he goes down and joins Fennec Shand for the fight, and they're just taking hits. This is what I love so much, and we've talked about this before. He's not like a superhero. Like, he is flawed, and he is not just killing, like, he's clearly killing people, but he's taking hits, and if it wasn't for his Beskar, he would be dead already.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just overwhelmed, and so you do get this sense of they're not making it out of this. Like, they're just, another drop ship comes down, and they're fucked. And that's when Boba Fett comes in the armor that he just, he was like fighting the guys, saw the door open to the Razor Crest, which, come on, people, lock your damn ships. What?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Close your door. This isn't your neighborhood in the 1950s. People are going to enter your shit and take your shit. Especially, like, he already had his ship scrapped once by Jawas. Like, a little protective measures maybe taken? I don't know. Either way, it's a good thing he did leave it open, because Boba Fett whips ass in the knee rockets, like the knee gun. What?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because I think the only other time we've actually seen those in use was, I believe, in Attack of the Clones.
I don't even remember it ever.
Yeah, I want to say Jango did it in Attack of the Clones, like during the battle on Geonosis or whatever. I think. I don't know. But still, it was so awesome to see him like use every single aspect of his armor.
Did you always think that he was wearing his dad's armor the whole time?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Never made that connection. I always assumed he just got his own set.
No, I always assumed it was down from his dad.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird. It's the color in my head. I'm just like, oh, it's a different color, different suit. Like, never thought about it. But yeah, I just thought that was cool that it's like an old medieval weapon or something, you know, that's like a heritage, you know, hand-me-down legacy weapon where you like inscribe the family name or message. I like how they update it like that. Like, this is where I got the armor. This is why I got the armor. This is who I'm passing it down to. It's kind of cool. I don't know.
It just makes sense too. Like, especially like the culture of the Mandalorians. Like, of course they would be so ingrained with their weapons.
Oh yeah, well, it works out. I gotta say, your camera looks really great today. Like, it's
because I turned off my light.
Oh really?
Yeah. I always forget to turn off my fucking overhead light. So, note to self: turn off the fucking light.
I forget to turn on the images, so we're just we're batting 1,000 between the two of us.
Hey, you know what? We're killing it today.
We are.
We're on. I even remember what show I was on.
Yeah. So after Boba Fett just flexes one too many times, the stormtroopers are like, "Get the fuck out of here! Let's go! I can't take this anymore. We gotta run!" And to see the drop ship lift in the air and the last stormtrooper have to jump for it, I don't know what it was, but that really felt good. Like, I really enjoyed watching that. And then tragedy strikes, the name of this show, in a couple different ways. There's this huge blast out of the sky, and holy shit, the Razor Crest goes up in flames, just completely
gone.
I couldn't believe they did that.
I was pretty fucking ballsy.
Do you think,
like, that's killing a main character?
Yes, it's like destroying the Millennium Falcon. How could you do that?
Yeah.
Do you think this would, because we know what happens, we've already seen the finale of season 2. Do you think this is a transition element for the audience? Saying, okay, stop focusing so much on this character and this equipment. We need to start experiencing a transition, and so we have to stop elements that we've been hanging up on.
Yeah, with hindsight, definitely. Like it like once you see the finale, like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And like especially seeing Din's progression from, being a part of that super, fanatical cult to slowly understanding that there's other aspects of the Mandalorian culture. Like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, it still hurt watching it. And then I did not think...
little funny thing, little side note. My buddy got the Lego Star Wars Advent calendar.
Oh, really?
And I swear to God, they had to have planned this shit out. But the Saturday after that, the piece that you got was the Razor Crest.
Oh, really?
And of course, they're Legos, so you have to build them. So it's the Razor Crest in pieces.
Yeah.
It's like somebody had to fucking plan that. That is hilarious.
How big is this Advent calendar that you could have a Lego starship on it?
I mean, they're little guys. They're not like giant, massive things, but you know what it is.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah. I wish I would have got it.
That's really funny. I like that a lot. It's literally in pieces. You have to rebuild it. But in the ashes, he finds the little ball, which is just his connection to Grogu. That's at the very end. Hold on. I don't want to skip this part. So then Moff Gideon says, are the Dark Troopers ready? And she's like, they're powering up, or they're almost ready or something. And then we see cut to like this really great external atmospheric view of the Dark Troopers flying a la Iron Man out of the starship, which was just badass. And then seeing them come and drop down, at four corners of Grogu at that Jedi Temple top. Oh, that was straight up Lord of the Rings when they were coming. I can't remember.
Yeah, that was definitely the Nazgul.
Nazgul, yeah, the Nazgul coming after Bilbo. So cool. Did you think they were gonna get to him before they left and fight?
I was hoping for it, but it's like it would just make sense that of course they're gonna take the kid. So
I was mentally preparing myself for that because it seems like it had to happen in this season, just for dramatic tension. But I did not think it would happen in this episode. In 14. I mean, we still had 4 more episodes. I figured that would be like, the penultimate episode right before the finale. Yeah, and seeing him just fly off, and I'm surprised Din didn't fly after them. And then they tell Boba.
Well, he didn't have his jetpack.
Oh yeah, like an idiot, he set it down. I forgot about that deal.
Yeah.
He left that jetpack on the floor a long time. Like as soon as you saw that first dropship, get your fucking jetpack on, dude.
Right.
Like, I understand
that's what I would have done, especially because you could have got to the kid faster.
Yeah, I mean, for the story, it helps ground the action, and so I understand that. But as far as just fucking common sense as a character, get your fucking jetpack on, dude.
Yeah,
come on. Yeah, watching them fly off with Grogu, and even that, especially in that concept art with Grogu's face, he's like, ah!
It's so good.
Sad. I was like, no. And then, then it cuts to him rummaging through the wreckage of his ship, or the charred remains of his ship, and he finds the little ball that Grogu loved and puts in his pocket. And then he finds the staff in the Mandalorian. The Beskar staff still survived, which is fantastic. What did you think about Boba Fett swearing to find that he was in his debt until he found Grogu? Does that feel like a Boba Fett maneuver to you?
Initial Boba Fett, like Boba Fett we know from the movies, right. No, not at all. But I can imagine, like, it wasn't hard to believe, like him trying to rebuild his life for the past, whatever amount of years, and I would imagine he's doing some soul searching, trying to understand more of the Mandalorian culture, because I mean he was a reject. Right. Like from day one, he's always been a reject. So I mean, of course, you're gonna obsess over it and want to be a part of it. And I mean, life debts are a thing. So I don't think it's that far fetched that he's just like, okay, yeah, we'll help. Especially because he hates the Empire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not that shocked.
Yeah, it felt a little strange to me, especially when they did that cut to Fennec Shan's face, and she was like, "Frugga, frugga, frugga." Like she did not look happy about it, or she looked like she was gonna, do some swapperoo later on, or switch sides or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It felt strange to me in the moment, but I'm glad that he did because he needs a damn ship. He's got to get off the goddamn rock somehow. So it makes sense plot wise, and especially now that we've seen the finale and stuff, we understand where it's going.
Yeah.
He had to go with them. So yeah, it cuts to the Star Destroyer, and we see Gideon telling Dr. Pershing that they've got the donor, and then it shows Gideon entering in the little chamber, and Grogu is fucking up 2 stormtroopers.
Hell yeah.
Just fucking Freddy Krueger, a la Nightmare on Elm Street 3, with the puppet, playing the fucking kid walking off the edge of the psychiatric center. He's just fucking them up, throwing them around like rag dolls. It was so awesome.
It was.
Did you think they were going to play a little more into the dark side element with Grogu?
See, that's everybody keeps talking about dark side element. I don't see that it's dark side. Like he's protecting himself. Jedi kill. Jedi are murderers. That is not that far fetched. That he's up against an enemy and he's gonna fucking destroy him. Like I don't see anything dark side about that.
I just felt like the whole first and second season, it seemed like it was showing Grogu exposed to such violence, and he felt like it just felt like younglings, you're supposed to be passive and emotionless, and you're only doing violence to protect peace. But all he's seeing is and being exposed to is violence, and so I thought they would play that in, but they clearly didn't, and so I was just like, whatever. But
well, and the way I look at it too is, I mean, he had. He's 50. So let's assume that he had, 30 years with the Jedi Temple?
Right.
I mean, that's going to really shape his mind. And I mean, he had the decade or two in exile, but we don't know how much of it was with another Jedi and how much of it was with the people that stole him. So he's probably still got that mindset of the Jedi Order, but I mean you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself.
Hell yeah. Either way, we saw a little different perspective of Moff Gideon here, a little more playful and just sort of down to earth version rather than the over the top maniacal mustache twisting villain that I just assumed he was ending up being.
Well, and of course with the finale he is. Definitely is.
Yeah. But either way, I enjoyed it. Like I thought he did a good job in setting up, I'm going to use you, child, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can wear yourself out, but I'm in control here. And then they stun him and put tiny little cuffs. They just happen to have tiny little cuffs.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you have tiny little? I freaked out about that when I saw that. I was yelling. My wife was like, why does this matter? I was like, who has cuffs that size? You just have cuffs in tiny size? Like no one has that. Like it's crazy.
I mean, apparently Gideon does.
Yeah.
He's prepared, if nothing else. He is a very prepared man.
That's true. I also was surprised that we'll get into that in the finale discussion. Okay. What was your favorite moment of this episode?
Plain and simple, Boba Fett, no armor, just a Gaddafi stick, just decimating a platoon of troopers. Like that was just every time everybody says Boba Fett's a useless character, that is gone. They cannot say that shit anymore. Because I mean, in the movies he's fucking useless. Vader has to catch Han Solo for him, and he dies by getting hit in jetpack with a stick. Like he's cool as fuck. But he's useless in the movies. Not anymore. Right. So yeah, I mean, just that entire battle, like it was just like that's what we wanted since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That was mine too. My favorite was seeing that shot of him finally in the armor landing, shooting the guy. That sort of that pose that he does from underneath from the camera angle. Looks so badass. And I really like him in the robes underneath too.
Me too. I'm going to build this costume.
Oh, it's so good.
Like I have always wanted to build a Fett costume, but I'm a bigger gentleman. And now it's like, fuck, Boba Fett's fat. Yes.
Let me know when you do that because I want to double up on the cost to make a Cobb Vanth one.
Yeah, we're doing this. Definitely doing this.
Okay. Yeah, man, that oh sweet hell. It was so goddamn I loved that shot. It was just this great hero shot. Not as good as what we got in the finale, but still a great hero shot. What was your least favorite? Did you have a least favorite?
When the Dark Troopers snatched Grogu.
Yeah.
So it's like, God damn it! I knew it was gonna happen, but why?
Yeah. Yeah, mine had to be the destruction of the Razor Crest. I was just like, oh. I'm just a starfighter fanatic. When you get to see space battles, I am just entranced. And seeing it destroyed, I was just like, oh no, no more space battles.
Especially after the last episode.
Yeah.
Like that dogfight on whatever. God, that was so good.
That was awesome. And yeah, now it's gone. I was just like, fuck. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was just like, I'm never going to see him in a spaceship again. Damn it. Oh, yeah. William is asking, isn't the Force in every cell of your body? What would cuffs actually do? That's a good point. I don't know. They were like glowing, so maybe it was like an inhibitor or something. I don't know. What do you think?
There is in like Legends, there are binders like that. That's how they imprison Jedi or Force sensitive people. Right. It is essentially like a force field that debilitates their abilities. I
mean, we see it in episode 2 or episode 3 when Count Dooku captures Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he's like got the cuffs on his wrists, but he's in like the stasis field where he's like floating and stuff. But he's still have the cuffs on, so I don't know. Maybe they're just calling back to that type of a cuff where it's supposed to like stop you from doing it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I agree, William. If you're not deep canon junkie, then you'd be like, that doesn't make sense. He can still use both his hands if he needs to crush someone. But oh well, I didn't mind that so much. It was the size that bugged me.
See, and that doesn't bug me because one, Gideon knows everything. He's ISB for fuck's sake. Like true. He's like those people are the terrifying people in the Empire. Not everybody else. Like Vader, was a force to be reckoned with, but the ISB, like those guys did not fuck around. Plus, I mean, you have so many different species in the galaxy. Like it just goes to reason that you of course have different size finders,
and he knows who he's hunting, so he would be prepared to contain him. So it definitely makes sense. But yeah, it was just initial thoughts. All right, so in your head when you first watched this episode, what were your hopes for the next one or for the future?
Just more Boba Fett. It's like we need as much Boba Fett as possible.
Yeah, well, we got it. It was fucking awesome.
Oh fuck yeah, we got it.
Yeah, my hopes was that I didn't think we were going to see Grogu again until the finale. I was like, okay, well now he's going to go back and find Ahsoka again. Like they need help. So he's going to go get Ahsoka. He's going to go get Bo-Katan and her trio of her partners. Now he's got Fennec Shand and Boba Fett helping him. He's going to get... well, we see him at the very end go back to that town and ask... the now New Republic Marshal Cara Dune for help, and he says he's going to break out Mayfield, and so I knew he was going to get Mayfield. I just thought it was going to be like a big team up like we saw at the end of the first season, which was really cool. And I'm surprised they didn't actually go with everyone, but I like what they did. I thought it was good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But seeing Mayfield come back, I'm a big Bill Burr fan. I just think he's hilarious, and this character. Yeah. A lot of people didn't like him in the first season because it was just like, who gives a fuck?
He was a great fucking character.
Yeah, I agree too. This next episode that we're going to review next is, it changed everyone's opinion about him. And his attitude is just Bill Burr. That's him. It's so great. Yeah. So funny. And so I was stoked to see that he was coming back too. So my hopes were we were going to see a great team up and they were just going to storm the castle. It was going to be fun.
Hell yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you wanted to talk about with this one?
No, that's it. We got it.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in live or after the fact. We invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. Liking the video is important. It actually helps it show up in other people's feeds and stuff. So We also have some apparel. I'm wearing it now. It's actually after a first wash, and it didn't tighten up or shrink. The waist is still really long, which I really appreciate as a lanky person. So yeah, the gear is top notch. So check it out if you haven't already. The link is in the description below. And until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes again, may the Force be with you.
I was aiming for the other one.
So good.
What's up, Princess Moon? Princess Moon.